Welcome to the Dr. Amadi Show, where we rise above the noise, breathe, and step into a higher dimension of leadership, emotional mastery, and personal rulership. I'm your host, Dr. Emmanuel Amadi, and in this space, we confront the pressures of life. And we awaken the leader buried inside every human spirit. Whether you're listening from Glasgow, London, New York, or anywhere across the world, this is your moment to grow. So take a breath, open your heart, and prepare to think deeper, live stronger. This is the Dr. Amadi Show.
What if I told you that the real crisis in leadership today isn't out there, it's inside you? Imagine this. A CEO walks into a boardroom during the worst moment of their company's history. Everyone is looking at them for answers. But the real battle isn't the collapsing numbers, the angry investors, or the impossible deadline. The real battle is happening in their mind, in the storm of emotions, doubt, and pressure that no one else can see. Welcome to another episode of Leadership in Crisis, how great CEOs think and make decisions under pressure. This podcast is where we study the minds of elite leaders and extract practical wisdom you can apply in your business, in your career, in your family, and in your life. I remain your host, Dr. Emmanuel Amadi. I'm the author of Emotional Leadership: How Emotions, Principles, Laws, and Emotional Intelligence Affect You as a Leader. Today's episode deals with one of the most misunderstood forces in leadership: empathy. Not sympathy, not softness, not emotional fragility, but empathy. And today we will study how Satya Nadella used empathy to rebuild Microsoft, so you can apply the same principles to use in your own business, your team, in your organization, your relationships, and even in your own personal lives. I do not have 10 points from this story. I do not have 7 keys for his success, but I do have 3 strategic lessons or laws you can apply in your own life. But before we go there, hear me very carefully. Empathy is not weakness. Empathy is not softness. Empathy is not emotional fragility. Empathy is not the same as sympathy. How do we differentiate between empathy from sympathy? Sympathy simply says, I feel sorry for you. Sympathy acknowledges your pain, but it doesn't transform the pain. But empathy is different. Empathy is deeper, and empathy is more strategic. To truly understand empathy, I want to give you a formula, a simple equation that will change the way you see people today and forever. Empathy is equal to empty minus pathy. So let me explain the formula for you. Why the word empty is easy to understand in our common English. The word pathy comes from the Greek word pathos, which means pain, emotion, or feeling. But over time, pathy also became associated with words like apathy and pathetic, which are the 2 words we use to describe lack of feeling, disconnection from emotions. But empathy is the exact opposite. Empathy is the willingness to empty yourself, empty your ego, empty your assumptions, empty your need to be right, so you can be filled with the perspective, the emotion, and the lived reality of another human being. Empathy is not emotional weakness. Empathy is emotional leadership. Empathy is not sentimental. Empathy is strategic power. Therefore, this is how I define empathy. Empathy is the ability to see people clearly when pressure is trying to blind you. It is the capacity to understand hurts while you are still responsible for the outcome. This is where this podcast is becoming more interesting. Empathy does not reduce your authority. Empathy refines your authority. Empathy does not make you soft. Empathy makes you more wiser. Because when you empty yourself, you make room. Room for understanding, room for connection, and room for transformation. And that, my friend, is the true meaning of empathy. This episode is for leaders in business, professionals under stress, parents raising their children, pastors guiding communities and churches around the world, entrepreneurs building businesses and a team, and anyone who wants to lead without losing their humanity. So let us begin what I have termed the Nadella moment. So when Satya Nadella became the CEO of Microsoft in 2014, my wife and I were already running our own small family businesses in Manchester, England. So I was watching Nadella and Microsoft very closely. At that time, Microsoft was not the giant of hope it is seen as today. The company was internally divided, externally stagnant, and emotionally exhausted. A culture of competition replaced a culture of collaboration. The teams were brilliant but disconnected. The teams were talented but tensed. They were very productive but were under immense pressure to deliver the figures. And Nadella did something very rare, something most people will never do, which is why I selected him to talk about him today, so you can apply some of his principles in your own businesses, in your own relationships, and in your life. So let me make this bold statement. Nadella did not begin with strategy. He began with spirit. He began with culture, and he began with the people. Hear me, and this is why I like this episode. Great leaders do not fix organizations first. Great leaders fix atmospheres. They fix relationships. They fix emotional climates. They fix the invisible environment that shapes the visible results. Nadella introduced a simple but profound idea, the growth mindset. He never introduced perfection. He never introduced performance, nor pressure, but growth. He taught Microsoft to learn again, to listen again, to collaborate again, and the company transformed. So let us extract 3 strategic lessons you can apply immediately in your own environment. That's lesson number 1. Empathy creates clarity. Clarity about the mission and vision of the organization. When leaders and CEOs understand the people or employees understand the mission and vision of the company. Empathy reduces fear. Empathy increases trust, and empathy unlocks creativity. Neuroscience tells us that when employees feel understood, the amygdala, the emotional brain, calms down. And when the emotional brain calms down, the prefrontal cortex, which is the thinking brain, gets activated. Meaning your employees think better when they feel safer. Some of you listening to me right now are trying to lead others by force, by intimidation, and by coercion. Whereas what your environment really needs right now is understanding. You are pushing when you should be perceiving. You are demanding when you should be discerning your team, your spouse, your children, your colleagues, your staff, and even your own emotions. So let me remind you once again, empathy is not emotional softness. Empathy is emotional strategy. It is the lens that allows you to see clearly what pressure is trying to distort in your vision. So if this episode is helping you to think more clearly, pause for a moment, like this video, subscribe, and share it to anyone who you think might need emotional connection today. So let us continue to lesson number 2, which is humility under pressure. Satya did not arrive as CEO pretending to be the savior of Microsoft. He did not act like he knew everything. He listened to the people. He learned. He asked questions and he invited feedback. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is thinking beyond yourself. Humility opens doors that pride keeps permanently shut. Some of you are one apology away from a restored relationship, one honest conversation away from clarity, and one moment of humility away from breakthrough. Empathy and humility are relatives. They work together to help you achieve your potentials. You cannot truly empathize if you are imprisoned by your own ego. So let's talk about lesson number 3. Emotional rulership creates renewal. Nadella's leadership did not just change Microsoft mood. It changed Microsoft metrics. Cloud computing grew. Innovation returned. Teams united, and the company rose again. Why? Because when people feel safe, they think better. When people feel valued, they work better. When people feel understood, they also lead better. And hear me, you may never run Microsoft today, but you are leading something unique in your life. You are leading a home, you are leading a team, you are leading a business, a relationship, and your own emotional world. So empathy is not optional. Empathy is an essential ingredient in our lives. So what Satya Nadella's journey today teaches us is simple but yet profound. Empathy is not a soft skill. It is a leadership strategy, and it is the unseen force that turns pressure into possibility. Because when a leader chooses empathy, they unlock understanding. And when they unlock understanding, they unlock the people. And when they unlock people, they unlock the future of the organization. So if this episode added any value to your life, please subscribe, share it, and follow the Dr. Amadi Show from the Amadi Global Institute, Glasgow. In our next episode, we will explore how Nelson Mandela mastered forgiveness under pressure. Until then, lead with emotions, protect your peace, think clearly, and win under pressure. Thank you once again for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Amadi Show. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: your current circumstances do not define your future. The decisions you make today do. Every week, we bring you practical insights, real-world solutions, and powerful conversations designed to help you lead better, live better, and achieve more. If this episode added value to your life, subscribe and share it with someone who needs encouragement, direction, or a breakthrough. To work with us, partner with us, or discover how we can help you unlock your next level, visit amadiglobal.com. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep becoming the person you were created to be. This is Dr. Emmanuel Amadi. Thank you for listening to the Dr. Amadi Show.